Hi out there in the YouTube. Welcome back. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about astrology, aliens, and technology, and the Bible. And where to start with this? I did a live stream, and I'm even going to say this one's live because I'm not going to edit it. I'm not going to do any splicing. It's going to be like it's live. Pardon me. But it'll be a little more like a live video, even though because the last video I just did, I talked for 20 minutes. 20 minutes. Me blabbing on, and then only 54 seconds. Only 54 seconds made it onto YouTube. So I didn't even really I didn't get to go into the subject at all. Like, it just cut. No big deal. I will redo it now. So, with astrology, you have to think about. I had someone ask me this a couple days ago on my YouTube channel. They asked me like if I had studied any other astrology systems. Like, what's your Chinese sign? I'm actually the Earth Dragon in the Chinese system. And you do have an element based upon like your month and the day and all that. So it does get very specific to your character nature. And that's kind of what inspired this part of the video, is that there is Celtic, Mayan, Vedic with the 27 nakshatras. There's Egyptian, the 12 that we know of today. The 12 constellations we use, that goes all the way back to Egypt. And what I find so fascinating about all of these is that you can use these systems sprang up from the earth at completely different locations, different people, different cultures, languages, different time, and yet they all can be superimposed on each other, overlaid, if you will, and are very accurate. And will only, if you study the different systems, like if you find out what you are in the Celtic system, for example, I'm the seahorse, which is supposed to be talkative and witty and chatty and clever, and like I can't remember all of the details to the seahorse, but if you look up the seahorse in Celtic mythology, that's my birth animal in that chart. Typically, my favorite is Egyptian astrology, but I also really love the nakshatras, or the 27 signs from the Vedas, and they can really actually show you a lot more to your personality if you study them all. And the next point is with aliens. Now, everyone's heard of like Atlantis and these lost cities of Mu. And, there's a lot of people on YouTube that have like, they're trying to make free energy or anti-gravity devices. And I'm starting to realize that maybe that's not a good thing. Like maybe some of these technologies are suppressed for a reason. Because look what happened last time. Like it caused Armageddon. I mean, we almost lost everything. Like it's only for the survivors that live on, right? And who are we as such a small piece to say that oil and all of this that's detrimental to the planet? Like that's judging. When what's really worse, like having the whole planet explode and be destroyed because they gave monkeys nuclear bombs, or a little bit of oil spills here and there so that we can drive around in our cars. Like, I think that through divine providence, which is what this means, by the way, providence, all things for a reason, and that we might not always understand the reason. It might not seem fair, but it's not really our job to judge. And I think that as a species, we're not ready to have unlimited energy. I mean, our planet still has war, murder, prejudice. Like, there's so much going on in the world that we aren't ready. And astrology as a tool has been provided to us to try to get to know each other better, to understand ourselves, as well as everybody else. And I really think, and some people might get really offended by this, but I think Christianity is the devil or Satan, because, my God is love, kindness. My Father is love. He's not a jealous God. I mean, it says that in their, and that's maybe their God, their version. But it's all created. There's so many different cultures, and we create it with our thoughts. And, the King James Version is an updated version. Like, it was like the 15th or 16th century when they redid it. And maybe it's time for another rewrite. I mean, we've evolved and we've grown since then. So maybe it's time that, like Jesus always taught about love and forgiveness, kindness, compassion. And there's so much discord and fighting going on in the world. And I really believe that heaven is unity. Things working as a whole, things working together. And it's for a reason that the world is how it is now. And we should be grateful for the things that we do have, and the people that we know and love and that share our lives. And it's a good thing. Like, we're constantly evolving and growing as a species. And if we don't really acknowledge that growth and focus on that growth, but focus on the rot and decay, which is only a part of nature, natural cycles, the phoenix rising from the ashes, a rebirth, if you will. And I don't think that Christianity, do you really want everyone to think that your God is a jealous God, a God that should be feared? Do you think that, you should stone people to death for having different beliefs than you? Do you think that's right? To support slavery, homophobia, prejudice, segregation, when heaven is love? I mean, Jesus, Yeshua, whatever name you want to give to him, a rose would smell just as sweet. And it's important to remember that, because Jesus went into the tabernacle, turned over the tables, and said God doesn't need money. It's been 2,000 years from then. And what has the church done? I mean, as long as some people heard Jesus' word and have made it to heaven, then it's worth it. But I mean, the churches that want to anchor their roots so firmly in prejudice in this world, in hate, that's their free will and ability to do so. But I really think it's the devil, because if it's causing such guilt and such pain through dogma and just believing something is right because you've read it, when astrology is supposed to teach that all things, the division of the wheel, all is sacred. And it's not just about knowing who you are, it's about knowing who everybody else is. And I think that when we get to the state of love that we're supposed to be at, more technologies will be made available. But I think a lot of people are focusing on the technology aspect, when we have to focus on the soul, because a lot are lacking the kindness and the forgiveness that's needed for us all as a species to move on to the next level. And it's time to rewrite the King James Version, to update it to times of now. But that's pretty much what I said in the last video, but as a summary. And I will see you in future videos. Bye for now. Love each other.